Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're doing okay and have a great day and an amazing week. Today we're doing declutters. I'm doing the same intro and outro for all of my declutters. So this is part one where we will be decluttering primers, foundations, concealers, powders and setting sprays. I am filming all of these intros and outros after I've done the declutters, so I already know how I've done. Let me tell you, some areas I am more ruthless than others, but that's okay. There will be 6 parts to this declutter and they will be going up every Sunday until they are done. So it's going to take us into like mid-Feb, so be prepared. I don't have any particular goals going into this declutter. I just want to get rid of stuff that I'm not using, that I don't see myself using, that's out of date. I feel like I've maybe been a little bit more ruthless than I normally am in these declutters. Let me know what you think. But as always, if that sounds interesting to you, then please do just keep on watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and they are always makeup related, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. But other than that, enjoy. Time to declutter my primers. This is the first section I'm decluttering, and obviously, as you can see, I have way too many. I'm going to keep this one. I actually quite like it. It does feel nice on my skin and it's really inexpensive, and I do enjoy having inexpensive options in my collection. e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I use this a lot. It's one of my favourites. I think this is my 2nd tube of this, obviously keeping it. The Beauty Crop Avocado Poreless Primer. I am going to keep this. I do really like it. However, I have a bunch of other Beauty Crop primers to test because they all came in the advent calendar, so I'm looking forward to testing those, and maybe I'll find one that I prefer over this because as much as I like it, I don't think it does a lot. Barry M Fresh Face Illuminating Primer in Cool. I'm actually going to declutter this. I don't dislike it, it's fine, I just don't reach for it enough to warrant me keeping it. LMS Superfood Glow Priming Moisturiser. I'm going to declutter this. There's nothing wrong with it. I just never reach for it. I'm sure it's a great primer and other people love it, but it's just not for me. e.l.f. Blemish Fighting Putty Primer. I'm going to keep hold of this. I have hit pan on it, as you can see. I do use it quite a lot. I don't use it as much as I used to, and I prefer the original putty primer, but instead of decluttering this and buying that, I'll just keep hold of this and use it up. Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Glow. I'm going to keep hold of this. It was sent to me by Maybelline, which is super nice of them, but I tested it and I actually really liked it, and I've used it a few times since, so I actually quite enjoy it. Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer in Matte. I'm going to declutter this. I don't know why I'm being so brutal. I think I just have too many primers and I'm aware of that, so I like this one. There's nothing wrong with it, but I am going to let her go. 17 Photo Filter Balm Primer. I've only used this once and that was in my testing video. I don't think I loved it, but I want to keep hold of it and see if I can get a better opinion, see if I like it. One use isn't really enough to form a judgment, so I'll keep hold of her. Revolution Primer that doesn't have the name of the product on it, which I really hate. Revolution put the names of products on things, but I'm going to keep hold of this. From what I remember, I didn't dislike it, so I'll keep hold of it and give it a few more tries. Primark Prep and Perfect Vitamin Enriched Moisturising Primer. I'm going to keep hold of this. From what I remember, I did quite like it, so I'll keep hold of this one. Revolution Pro Miracle Cream. I think I quite liked this. I can't really remember, but I'll keep hold of this and hopefully I can use it up a bit more. Collection Primed and Ready Hydrating Primer. I'm going to declutter this. I've had it for years, probably since the start of my channel. It's just been too long. She should go. Relove by Revolution Pore Vanish Primer. I'm going to keep hold of this. I think all of these are pretty inexpensive, work pretty well. It doesn't do anything drastic, but it's a nice primer to have. Relove by Revolution Power Fix Primer. This is essentially meant to be like the e.l.f. one and the Milk one and all the other ones. I'm going to keep hold of this. Again, super inexpensive primer, works well, I enjoy it, I'm going to keep it. MUA Pro Base Mattifying Flawless Primer. It's time to go. I've had this way too long, pretty much since the start of my channel. I've used a lot of it, to be fair. I'm not mad at the progress. Part of me wants to hold on to it and see if I can finish it up, but realistically, she just has to go. e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I am going to keep hold of. I've only used it a couple of times, but from what I remember, I quite liked it, and I need to just work on using her more. Collection Gorgeous Glow Filter Finish. I'm going to keep. I actually quite like this. It's not really my go-to primer, but it is nice on a special occasion. Rimmel Lasting Finish Primer. Again, I've had this for a while. I can't remember when I tested it, but she needs to go. I need to just declutter her. I don't reach for her enough. Be Perfect Perfection Primer Silky Matte Face Primer. I'm gonna let her go. I don't reach for her. I honestly can't remember my opinions on her. And I've kind of gone off Be Perfect a little bit because they are selling James Charles's products on their TikTok, which I'm not a fan of and I don't want to support. But that's not a reason to get rid of products I already have. I just don't use this enough for me to keep it. NYX the Marshmallow Primer. I have had this for a very long time and part of me wants to declutter it for that reason, but I am going to keep hold of it just because I know I do still reach for it, so it can stay for now. Bourjois Healthy Mix. Again, I don't reach for this that often, but I know I haven't had it for that long, and for that reason I will keep hold of it for now and hopefully try and use it up a bit more. The NYX Pore Filler Targeted Stick. I used to use this all the time, but I've had it for so long. There's still quite a lot of product in there, but I've had it for way too long. She can go. She's just old and used. W7 Prime Magic. I'm going to keep hold of for now. It's not my favourite primer and I don't love it, but it is good to have a cheap option. It is also good to have a silicone primer, and I know I tested this relatively recently, so it can stay for now. Huda Beauty Matte Perfection Pre-Makeup Base can stay for now. I don't use this too often, but I'm hoping with fewer primers in my collection I can do. Primark Ultra Grip Primer can stay. This is meant to be a dupe for the e.l.f. one and the Milk one and all of that, and I haven't given it a fair test because I just always reach for my e.l.f. one. I don't think this one is good as the e.l.f. one, but it's a lot cheaper and a lot bigger, and if I can get away with using this one, I should do. W7 It's Glow Prime. I'm going to keep hold of this. I just put it on my hand to sort of see what it was like, and it is very glowy, and so far I'm only really keeping one glowy primer, so I think this is a good alternative, and it smells like watermelon, which I really like. XX Revolution Pink Elixir can go. I've had this for a very long time, and this was in a project pan, and I think I'm about halfway through it, but I just don't enjoy it. It's not my type of primer. I do like the pink colour, it's pretty, but it's just not for me. The Rodial Soft Focus Glow Drops. This is probably the most expensive primer in my collection, but I never, ever, ever, ever reach for it because it's very similar to the XX Revolution one that I just decluttered, and it's not my type of thing. And yeah, it hurts because I know it's expensive, but it's just not something I reach for. Let's put everything back. There we go, I'm keeping 19, I'm getting rid of 10, that's roughly a third gone, pretty okay with that. Foundation time. I feel like this isn't as bad as my primers, but I still have too many and some of them can go. e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation in the shade Pearl. This can go mainly because A, it's old, and B, look at it, it's empty. I've used it, it's finished, it's done, well done me. I'm classing this as a product that is finished, because it is. Rimmel Kind and Free Skin Tint Moisturiser thing. I'm going to keep this. I actually really enjoyed it and I still use it fairly regularly as a low coverage option. Relove by Revolution Super Serum in the shade F3. I'm going to keep this because I do quite like it, and in my mind it's a replacement of this, which was my favourite foundation that Revolution Pro stopped selling, annoyingly enough. So this is my replacement. It's not as good, they're not the same, but I do still like this. And the foundation drops in F2. I love this foundation, and I'm so annoyed that Revolution Pro discontinued it. I'm filming this in December, it will go up in January. By the time this video goes up, I will use this up and finish it. So it's technically a declutter, technically I'm finishing it. Revolution Superstay in shade 090. I really like this. I'm going to keep hold of it. That's all there is to say on it. It's a really good foundation. 17 Second Skin Enhancing Foundation. We all saw the testing video. I really did not get on with this, so this is going to go. Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 in shade Warm Porcelain. I am going to keep this. I haven't really tested it enough to have a solid opinion on it, but I don't hate it, so it can stay. MUA Pro Base Longwear Matte Finish Foundation. This was a favourite for so long, but I've basically finished it up. I think there's a tiny bit left in there. I'm not going to use it up because of how old it is, but I am going to class this as like finished essentially. Collection Lasting Perfection Glow Foundation in the shade 2 Porcelain. She is finished. Look at that. There's no product left in there. I'm pretty sure the last time I used it I had to like unscrew the top and use like the tube to get some on my face. She's finished, she's done. I don't know why she's still here. This is a little tester of a foundation, and I can't remember what foundation it is. I think it's the Estee Lauder something. It's not the double wear, I can't remember, but she can go. If I can't remember what she is, and there's nothing written on here, she can go. Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate in F3 can stay. I don't really remember what I think of her, but I don't remember her being terrible, so I'll keep trying her. Be Perfect Chroma Cover. The sticker came off and I can't remember the foundation shade. I think it's like 1N or something like that. This can go. The pump never worked. I have used this foundation a couple of times and the pump never ever worked. It's way too pale for me. It's a bit too thick. Oh, I'm dropping it. I've only used it a handful of times, but it's really just not a foundation for me. And I know I said that I have issues with the brand at the minute, but it's nothing to do with that. The foundation just doesn't work for me. L'Oreal True Match in the shade 1N can stay. This is quickly becoming one of my favourite foundations. I really do enjoy it, so it can stay. Collection Hydra Serum Foundation in 5 Fair can stay. I actually really enjoy this foundation. I use it fairly often. It's a really good drugstore option and very inexpensive. L'Oreal Infallible 32 Fresh Wear in 010 Natural Undertone can stay, or Neutral Undertone, I can't read, can stay. I really enjoy this. Again, just like the other L'Oreal foundation, I do really reach for this a lot and enjoy it, so it can definitely stay. XX Revolution Foundation in shade FX2 can stay. I'm going to try and use this up in the first quarter of 2025. I don't know if that video is up yet, but I am doing sort of a project pan, which I'm not good at, but I'm going to try and use this foundation up. HMB Soft Focus Airbrush Foundation in LF4N, bit of a weird name, can stay. It's a touch dark for me, I will be honest, but I can make it work, and hopefully if I use it throughout the summer I can get it to work for me then. Not that I tan, but I might, and so she can stay. I don't dislike this foundation. Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Finish Long Wear Foundation in F3 can stay. I actually quite like this foundation. I know a lot of people don't, but I don't mind it. I should say, I generally find that most Revolution foundations actually work fine on me. It might just be that my skin's really basic, but I don't mind them. Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation in 001 Pearl can stay. This isn't my favourite foundation. It actually pills on me a little bit, which I don't enjoy, but I reckon I could use this up. The pilling doesn't bother me too much, and it does have really good lasting power, so I think I'll keep hold of her and try and use her up this year. Primark Airbrush Foundation in the shade Ivory can stay. This is quickly becoming one of my favourite foundations. It's got really good coverage. It's a good colour match for me. If I want a full coverage look, it's either this or the XX Revolution foundation that I go for, and I'm trying to use up the XX one, so this is a good backup. Primark Longwear Radiant Matte Foundation in 123 Warm can actually go, and I didn't think I would get rid of this because I like this foundation. I don't dislike this foundation, but firstly, I don't think you can get this anymore, so there's no point in me talking about it on my channel, and I have the other one that I just prefer, so this one can go. The NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the shade Light can actually go. I've had this for a very long time. It was very kindly sent to me by NYX. It's not my favourite foundation. It doesn't work perfectly for me, and I feel like I have enough foundations and I'll probably test more this year, so this one can just go. She's just not the one for me, but she is loved and I have used her a lot, and I'm pretty sure she was in a project pan at some point, so where the hell has that line come from? Oh well, yeah, she can go. Let's refill the box. I'm keeping 13, so this box is a bit of a mess, but this is concealers. Let's declutter them. XX Revolution, don't know the name of this concealer at all, but I've almost used this up, so I might as well just keep it and finish it, and then it can be a finished product instead of a decluttered one. But I do really like it. It actually has really good coverage and is a good shade match for me. The shade CX1, by the way, which is so much darker than their regular shade C1. I don't know why, but it is. I've just looked at the box and I don't think I'm gonna get rid of a lot in here at all. Primark My Perfect Colour Illuminating Under Eye Corrector in the shade Porcelain I am gonna keep. This is a really nice foundation, actually. I quite like it. It's very brightening, works well under the eyes. Gonna keep hold of it. 17 Second Skin Enhancing Concealer in the shade 001N. I'm gonna keep. The video didn't go well with this, but I still think it was the foundation's problem, not the concealer, so I want to test this more and get a better opinion of it. Real Love by Revolution Super Concealer in the shade C1 is gonna stay. I actually quite like this concealer, it works well for me, it's a good brightening shade. Rimmel, the Multitasker Concealer in the shade 010 Porcelain. If you watch my videos, you'll know this is a firm favourite, so much so that I have 2 of them. This one's actually finished, so I'm gonna declutter it and say that it's finished. So I'm going to keep the new one because it is still a favourite. Next we have Mina, the 24-hour concealer in the shade 601. I'm going to keep hold of this. It's not my favourite concealer, but I don't dislike it. And I reckon I could get some decent use out of it. Maybelline Eraser Multi-Use Concealer in the shade 00. This was very kindly sent to me by Maybelline. I don't like the packaging. I hate this whole sponge tip. Same with the Primark one actually. I don't like the sponge tip, but I do really like this product. I think it works really well, so I'm going to keep hold of this. Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate in the shade C1. I'm actually going to keep. I do really like this concealer. It works well. It's thin, consistency, looks nice under the eyes. All good things. All good things. Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Finish Concealer in the shade C1. It's a completely different shade to the C1 that I just showed you, but I still like it. I still enjoy this concealer. I still use it fairly often. I'm going to keep hold of it. Primark Liquid Concealer Medium Coverage blah 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 in the shade 01. I'm actually going to declutter this. I just don't need it in my collection. I have enough concealers that I prefer. I don't reach for this one enough. She can go, and well done me for actually decluttering things. Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Concealer with Vitamin C in the shade Light. I'm going to declutter this. It's not a good shade for me, even though this is the shade Light. It's a bit too dark. I didn't love this. It also has one of those sponge applicators, and I'm only willing to work with a sponge applicator if it's a really good product that I love, and this isn't that. I know you can't read the writing because it's basically the same colour as the concealer, but this is the HMB Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer in the shade SF0. I do quite like this. I don't reach for it loads, but it isn't bad. I'm going to keep hold of it. Wet n Wild Soft Focus Concealer in the shade Fair Beige can go. I've never liked this. I don't know why it's still in my collection. I'm pretty sure every year I tell myself I'll give it a better go and see if I like it. I just don't, so it can go. Revolution Pro, again, name isn't on the product, so I don't know what this is, but it's in the shade C1. I just don't reach for this. It's not a concealer I reach for, so I guess it can go. Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite in the shade C05 can stay. I don't use it a lot. It's very high coverage. It's also very, very pale, so I only use a tiny amount under my eyes when I really, really need it. But I do still reach for it enough to keep hold of it, so that can stay. Let's fill her back up. I'm keeping 11 concealers, and I'm decluttering 5, which I don't think is terrible. That's like a third, roughly, again. Time for my powder declutter, let's get into it. 17 Perfecting Finish Translucent Powder can stay. There's actually not a lot of product in here. I reckon I can use that up this year quite easily. Yeah, she can stay. I don't have a lot of powders that I love. Love. But most of them are fine, so I'm probably gonna end up keeping them. I don't have that many. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's fine, it's fine. Makeup Revolution Pressed Powder in the shade Translucent can stay. Again, it's a fine powder, it does the job. I'm going to try and work through my pressed powders a bit more this year, so it can stay. Mina, the setting loose powder in the shade 100, that was difficult, can stay. Again, I don't love this, I think it's quite mattifying, but I can use it up, it's not a big deal. Collection Hydra Setting Powder can stay. I don't love this, I'll be honest. I've used it, I've taken it to work and used it throughout the day. It's not my favourite, but I want to keep using it up. You can't tell what this is because it's all rubbed off because it's so old, but this is the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder in the shade Transparent. I have hit pan. I'm going to finish this up this year, so she can stay. This is the first one I'm going to work on. Primark Natural Finish Flawless Powder and Foundation in the shade 212. Neutral can go. It's a little bit too dark for me. It's not the best shade for me. It does have some pigment to it. It's really good. If it matches you, it's really good at like covering spots to give that extra layer of coverage, but it doesn't work well for me, so it can go. Another Primark powder, this is the loose baking powder in translucent, and what I can tell you is it is not translucent. It's way too dark for me, so it can go. Studio London Flawless Setting Powder. I actually really like this. This is one that I really enjoy. I hate the packaging because it's domed and therefore really difficult to lay flat, but I do actually really like this powder, so it can stay. I Heart Revolution Scented Loose Baking Powder in Peach. I do really love this. It's getting a bit old, I can't lie. Maybe I should try and use this up this year, but it is still one of my favourites. I do love it. She can stay. We got some powder puffs because I have nowhere else to put them. Barry M Ready Set Smooth can stay. I do really like this. I want to get it used up this year. I reckon I can do that. It is a really good setting powder. One of my sort of safe options. If I know I want my makeup to look good, I know I can reach for this. Relove by Revolution HD Super Matte Setting Powder can stay for now. She's not my favourite because she's a bit thick, I think, from what I remember. Yeah, no, she looks quite finely milled actually. She also doesn't look translucent, but she can stay, she can stay. I'll keep trying her, and if I don't like her, I'll let her go. Trigwell Cosmetics can stay. I've only used this once. I can't really remember what I thought of it, so I do need to test it some more. Yeah, I'll do that this year. HMB Soft Focus Loose Powder in Translucent can stay. I can't remember what I thought of her, but she can stay, and I'll give her a fair whack. Again, I think I've only used her a couple of times. I think she might have been slightly too dark for me, but I'll keep testing her and let you know. Let's fill this back up. I've kept 11, I've got rid of 2. That's really not a lot of decluttering, but I didn't have a lot to start off with, and I'm pretty happy with the ones that I have left. Time to declutter setting sprays. I don't have that many, but a lot of them are either nearly empty or out of date because I probably only use about 3 of the ones here, so let's just go through them. Urban Decay All-Nighter is actually empty. You hear that? Nothing. I generally tend to keep the bottle to remind me to pick up a new one, so I'm going to count this as finished this year, last year, whatever, 2024. But I'm going to keep the bottle to remind me to get a new one at some point. XX Revolution Gold Fix. This is what it looks like, all shaken up. Hopefully you can see that. Can you see it? Can you see it? Look at it, look at it. Perfect, lovely, out of focus. I don't use this as a setting spray because I don't want to look like the Tin Man. What I do use this for as like a body spray to make my body look a bit more glittery, so I'm going to keep it for that reason. Collection Primed and Ready Dewy Makeup Fixing Spray can go. This is 100% out of date, can't remember the last time I used it. Will not be spraying it on my face. Mario Badescu facial spray with a bunch of stuff in it. I've heard bad things about this. It's not a setting spray, I don't know what it does, but I'm going to keep hold of it because I've never actually tested it. I Heart Revolution Chocolate Cherry Fixing Spray can go. I've had this for literally years, since the start of my channel, but the spray on it was terrible, so I never actually tested it. My goal was always to put it in another bottle, but I never did that, and it's definitely out of date now, so it can go. NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. I actually really like this setting spray. I think it works really, really well, but there's nothing left in it. It's empty. It should be in my finished makeup pile. So that's where it's going. Makeup Revolution Creator Revolution Makeup Fixing Spray can stay. I hate the smell of this stuff. It smells like paint stripper. It's horrible. It's so much alcohol in it, and it does dry out your skin, but it does also make your makeup last pretty well, so I'm going to keep hold of it. e.l.f. Cosmetics Makeup Mist and Set. This is almost finished, but it's not quite, but this is probably out of date. I've not used it in ages. From what I remember, it's pretty good, but it's probably out of date. Florence by Mills Zero Chill Setting Spray. I didn't like this when I tested it, so I'm going to let it go. St. Lux Setting Spray can also go. I remember testing this once and it pretty much ruined my makeup because it made my face a bit too wet. So I'm going to let it go. Barry M Fresh Face Fixation Setting Spray can stay. Genuinely, I do believe this is the best fixing spray you can get in a drugstore. It works so well. Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Oil Controlling Fixing Spray can go. I honestly don't remember ever using this, but it's mostly empty, to be fair. But this is 100% out of date, so it can go. The Beauty Crop Glow Milk Mini Mist can stay. I'm not a big fan of it for setting my makeup. I don't think it does a lot, but it is good for like wetting shimmer shades, and it's always good to have one setting spray to hand for that, and this will be it probably. Relove by Revolution Power Fix Mist can stay. I honestly can't remember what I thought of this, but it can't have been that bad, and it's good to have cheaper options available for when I want to like rejuvenate my makeup instead of set it down, so this will be good for that. Relove by Revolution Super Matte Fix Mist I'm also going to keep for a similar reason to the other one. It's good to have something to rehydrate your face. Even though this is a matte fix, it still adds hydration and helps blend your powders in a bit better. Elf Power Grip Dewy Setting Mist or Spray I'm also going to keep, because I've only tested this once. By the time you see this video I've probably tested it a few times, but as I'm filming it in December I've only tested it once, so I'd like to test it a bit more. The mist on this, stunning. The best mist I've ever tried. Studio London You Matter Setting Mist I'm going to keep. This is also a really good drugstore option, available in Superdrug. It does set your makeup pretty well, so it's a good option. Collection Filter Finish Setting Spray I'm also going to keep. This is another really good drugstore option. I've not tested it as much as the Barry M or the Studio London, but it is good. With setting sprays, I'm keeping 10, decluttering 6, and 2 were finished and got rid of. So that's roughly 50-50-ish. Keep, stay sort of split. And I'm pretty happy with the ones that I've kept. They all seem to serve a purpose for me. So I'm pretty happy with that. So there we go. That was this part of the declutter. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how you think I did. Please be nice. I have feelings too. And I'm very attached to my makeup. But yeah, I think I've done alright on the whole in this declutter. Like, I got rid of some stuff. I'm pretty okay with that. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Drop this video a like. Let's have a little bit of a chat. Subscribe if you want to. All those good things, all good things. But other than that, I'll let you go. I hope you have a great day, an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.